Greetings, family, friends from Goshen, Elkhart, and the surrounding areas. I am Miguel Santiago. This is the Goshen Chronicles. Today, I have the company of a friend and fellow Rotarian, Ricardo Yoder. How are you, Ricardo? Welcome to our forum.
Yeah, good, Magdale. How are you?
Doing pretty good. Thank you for stopping by and taking the time to sit down with us and explain the wonderful work that you guys are doing. You personally are, putting a lot of your time in this, and also along with the Rotarians who are a supportive group in our community, helping in the cause of rescuing girls from sex trafficking.
Yep.
And before we go any farther, I'd like to let the audience know that some of the things that we'll be talking about today might be disturbing to some people. So, viewer discretion is advised. So, let's get to it, Ricardo. Well, let's talk before we go into Destiny Rescue. Let's talk a little bit about the Rotary Club, the local Goshen Rotary Club. You have been there longer than I have. I'm also a Rotarian. I've been there for almost a year. But for this year that I've been there, I've seen all the wonderful work the Rotary Club does supporting, and most of the people are doing it behind the curtains, and nobody knows, what's really being done. But you alone, in the group, the Destiny Rescue and fellow Rotarians and other agencies that support, raised about $80,000 last year for rescuing girls that suffer, human trafficking, sex trafficking.
Right.
And that's just one agency in the Rotary Club. And every week and every program that we have different agencies coming in and getting help. And the Rotary Club function as a support group.
Yep.
That connects the dots, that helps into how to raise the funds, how to organize, so that we can make our community, not just the local community, but the global community, a better world to live.
Right.
Tell me a little bit about your experience with the Goshen Rotary Club, please.
Yeah. So it is Rotary International. And I think most people kind of forget the international part when they talk about it, because they know Goshen Rotary has been around over 100 years. And, some of the things that they've done in Goshen, they built the Shanklin Pool originally. And then I think 20 or 30 years later had to completely refurbish it. The Boys and Girls Club, they were responsible for, I think, one of the early on builds with that. The splash pad here in town. There's just quite a few different things that the Rotary Club has done over the years, and then those are the major project. There's been a lot of smaller projects that have happened, and Rotarians are around to serve and help others, and especially our local Goshen community, and just a great group of people.
Excellent. Now let's go to Destiny Rescue.
Sure.
How did you start working with Destiny Rescue, which is also a global organization?
Correct. Yeah. So Chris Russell is a vice president of, I just forgot his title, but he's a vice president of something within or I'm sorry, not vice president, director within Destiny Rescue, and his purpose is to go out and connect with people in the community and share what Destiny Rescue is doing to raise money to get to the boots on the ground to rescue these precious girls from sex trafficking. And he came and spoke at Rotary 4.5 years ago now, and I listened, and I was brought to tears, and I went home and told my wife, hey, we've got to do something for this. And so I invited Chris to my office, and my wife and I sat and talked with him for an hour or so, and was just really impressed with the Destiny Rescue and how it's set up, how it functions, the efficiency of it. It's about $1,500 to rescue a girl and get her on the road to freedom. And so, I mean, if you think about $1,500, what you can, if you can free someone from sex trafficking for $1,500, like, who doesn't want to do that? That's a pretty amazing opportunity. And so I started talking, and about that time, Danielle Thompson was the president of Rotary at that time, and she had asked me to participate in a small projects committee. And so I got a group together, and we started working towards the goal of what we then named as the first Freedom Walk. And we had set a goal of $40,000, and we had a that first committee was Robin Yoder, Angie McKee, Brett Weddle, and Andy Meyer. And then since that time, Danielle's come off of her president position and is also on the board as well. And just a wonderful, caring group of people. And that first year, we had set our goal for $40,000, and the money wasn't coming in for quite a while. We were getting kind of nervous, and then it just started rolling in. And so we increased our goal to 60,000, and we hit that. We set our goal to 80,000, and we hit that. We set our goal to 100,000, and we hit that. And after that, we were like, well, let's just see how high we go. And we ended up with about $130,000 that first year, rescuing 86 girls from that one Freedom Walk. So it was pretty exciting, really neat. And then the next 2 years, we were somewhere around, I think 2 years ago, we were at 85,000. This past year, we're at 80,000. So it's really picked up steam. The first 3 years, they were all held at Goshen High School on the track. This year, we're doing things a little differently. We're gonna the date is September 7th, and we are going to be at the pump house right there, close to the main branch of Intera um, and the oh, what's the pub that's right down there? I can't.
Jibico, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Goshen Brewing
Goshen Brewing Company, right in that area is where we're going to start, and it's going to be more of a 5K and or 5 mile run. We haven't completely got some of those details arranged yet, but obviously the goal is to have more community involvement and connect people with the story of Destiny Rescue. So that's kind of where we're headed for this upcoming year.
Okay, that's great. So we just talked about the organization and the fundraising, but let's talk about the lives of the people who are being abused, sexually abused
Yeah.
throughout the world.
Yep.
And let's hope that we can make a connection with our audience today and encourage them to participate in these events to help
Yeah.
raise funds. I've heard some testimonials from I believe the director last time. But I'm looking at the program that Destiny Rescue does, and it's a self-sustainable. It's not just rescuing girls; it's actually providing sometimes has housing, work. Tell us a little more about the lives that the stories that you hear and
Mhm.
how Destiny Rescue's having an impact on those lives.
Yeah. So the big thing is a lot of times these girls get caught up in this because they're trying to help their family. We have a group of agents that are at the India Nepal border, and they basically are talking to girls as they come across the border and discovering that they're being sex trafficked, and many times the girls don't know. They've been promised things in this other country. They've been told, hey, if you come over here, we're going to give you a job and clothes and money to send back to your family. And sometimes their family doesn't even know that they've left the house, and the border agents will have a conversation, and they will end up calling back. They know the questions to ask, and they call back and talk to the family, and the family says, gosh, we had no idea that was happening. And if they take that next step, their family probably never hears from them again. So that's one of the cool parts, that even just the preventative part of that, where girls don't even end up in sex trafficking. That's one of the really neat parts of that Destiny Rescue does. That next step is, we have rescue agents that go out and rescue girls from these brothels, and then they take them from there, and they offer them the opportunity to step out and have a different life. And these girls, sometimes they've gotten into that situation through how I just described, or sometimes family sells them into sex trafficking, which is just absolutely disgusting. How people that are supposed to be taking care of them
Yeah.
would push them off into sex trafficking. And so in those situations, our rescue agents will take them to a household where they're given training in terms of how different jobs that they can have. They help them figure out a budget. They work with them to create a safety plan. So it's really self-sustaining. And the numbers we've seen consistently, we've tracked the girls in terms of trying to make sure that they're staying free, has been just amazing. We've recently gotten into some of the African countries, and one of the problems there many times is that the girls are in situations where it's just so impoverished that they don't have another way to make money, and so they end up trafficking themselves. And so if you can help these girls find food, if you can help them find housing and a job that they can do besides selling themselves, then it allows them to move on beyond that. So there's a number of different ways that girls come into this, and then there's some pretty specific ways that Destiny Rescue helps them get out of it. One of the really kind of in my face things that happened that very first year, we were walking up and down Main Street here and handing out flyers for the Freedom Walk, and I walked into one of the local businesses, and the owner said, "Oh man," he said, let me put one of those up. We He said, I don't have good health, and in the winter we go into one of the Asian countries because it's a warmer climate. We have a house there, and he said, when we showed up, I said to our neighbor, I said, where's your daughter and niece? And she said, well, I sold them into sex trafficking. He said, I cussed her out, found out where they were at, went and paid for them to be out of it and set them free. So I was absolutely astonished. I was like,
Wow.
that is just on Main Street in Goshen where we have that connection. And it's like, wow, if that can happen in little town of Goshen, how many other stories are there like that out there? So
Absolutely. What is a date for the next? Now you call it Journey to Freedom. Is that what we're calling it? Is that right?
no, that's the Journey to Freedom is that's
Is the
the page from
program name?
Destiny
Okay.
Rescue. You may want to post that on the
Okay.
podcast site, but September 7th is the next Freedom Walk is when we're going to be having that. It's a Saturday.
And how can our audience participate?
Yeah. So we'd love to have people come and participate in the run and the walk. But in the end, we want to rescue girls and we just want your money to
Right.
rescue girls. So it's a very efficient agency in terms of what Destiny Rescue does. And a high majority of the dollars spent go directly towards rescuing these girls. So that's one of the things that's so important to me about a nonprofit, that it really puts money into what the end goal is, which is rescuing these girls.
Yeah, you had also mentioned before we came here that they publish their financials for people to see where the money is
Yeah,
going, which
yeah,
is great. It gives people confidence that the money they're going to be contributing actually goes to helping these girls.
yes, yeah. So destinyrescue.org is the website. You can go to that. The company is actually the American side is based out of Fort Wayne, so it's very close. And so there's good connections there. If anybody listening would like to have more information, you can post my information if you'd like, and they can contact me directly, or go to destinyrescue.org in
Yeah.
terms of getting contact there.
It's always a blessing to me to interview a lot of people here in our forum and find out that a lot of people here in Goshen are very active
Mm,
and trying to support our local community, and then the world community,
right.
always giving, always working. It's just amazing how many people dedicated to the service is amazing. I think we're blessed to be here in Goshen,
Yeah.
and for our families. And I'm an immigrant, so we know we're blessed to come into this country and be safe. A lot of immigrants that come to the United States also are running from different things. We're not gonna get to that point because right now it's a hot topic for a lot of people.
Sure.
But we are blessed to be here, and so we encourage. I personally would like to have a challenge for our Hispanic community to participate into the Freedom
Oh
Walk and
yeah.
also be part of raising funds. Last time I went to the walk, I didn't see many Hispanic faces. Actually, Sahib, the producer, and myself were the only ones there. So I want to make sure that
Yeah.
our community, the Hispanic side, participates, and we're more aware of how we can also help and contribute to this.
Yeah.
But I really want to thank you for that. Do you have something else to add?
Yeah, I was just to say we did do the flyer in both English and Spanish all
Oh,
3 years.
perfect.
So we do have this. We will have the Spanish version of that available, and so yeah, that's exciting. We would like to. I mean, half of our community is Hispanic, so
Yeah.
we're happy to have folks out there from regardless of what their background is.
Yes, and we do have some time to get ready and prepare for this. So
Yeah.
we wanted to start early this year because last year, I kind of found out about this kind of late in the game, but I wanted to get engaged into this early in the year.
Yes.
And I think right now we have plenty of time to get the community engaged and
Yes.
get people invited and help raise the funds. Maybe we can change those $80,000 a year to, I don't know, 120,000 a year. That would
It'd
be
be
great.
awesome. Yeah. And, churches or other civic groups would be happy to come out and talk more specifically. There's a number of really neat events that churches have done. They've done auctions. They've had adult proms. There's been a lot of different ways that individual churches have decided to step up and participate. And so they're welcome to participate in our Freedom Walk. They're also, certainly welcome to raise money individually directly for Destiny Rescue. And their friendly competition is always exciting too. If if
Sure.
we had a couple pastors that wanted to challenge their church members to do a versus, we'd love to see that as well. There's just a lot of ways to interact and be a part of this.
That's amazing. That's good. Well, there you have it, dear audience, family, friends. I invite you to visit destinyrescue.org
Correct.
and find out about the mission and how they're making an impact in the global community, rescuing girls from sex trafficking. And we encourage you to check the local information for the next Freedom Walk. And I would like you to come, and I'd like to see you there. I will make this a personal challenge to make sure that our Hispanic community joins in this effort. And please remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Facebook, share this content, click the like button, and make sure that our community knows about the wonderful work that Destiny Rescue and you, Rick, you're doing with raising funds for Destiny Rescue. Um, Anything else you'd like to add, Ricardo?
I really appreciate being on here, Magdale. It's always great to talk with you, and then it's always wonderful to be able to share the, just the amazing opportunity people have to rescue girls from sex trafficking with Destiny Rescue.
It's our pleasure. Thank you, Ricardo, once again. Family, again, please share, like, and subscribe. I am Magdal Santiago. This is the Goshen Chronicles. See you next time. Thank you.
So my name is Chris Russell, and I am the Director of Engagement for Destiny Rescue. We're an international Christian organization, and our primary focus is rescuing underage girls out of sex trafficking situations. A lot of people don't realize that human trafficking is the fastest growing criminal activity in the world right now. It makes over $150 billion a year. We estimate about $99 billion of that is specific to sex trafficking, and we know that right now there's over 1 million kids being sex trafficked all over the world. It happens everywhere. It happens in every country. It doesn't happen equally. We estimate that about 2/3 of the children who are sex trafficked is in the Southeast Asia area of the world. You have a lower view of women there. You have less opportunities for young ladies. Young girls are responsible for their parents as they get older. So it creates this perfect, horrible storm for trafficking in massive levels, but it happens everywhere. And we're not okay with that. And we don't think anybody else is okay with it either. So we believe that we are called to be a part and be in this fight to be able to rescue these precious kids. And because of the great support that we have and people who are rising up to be a part of this army, last year alone, we were able to rescue 3,144 individuals out of trafficking situations. The youngest of those were 2 8-month-olds, just to show you how dark and deep this issue goes. One was a kidnapping situation where we were asked to help out with. Another one was a generational situation where this girl belonged to a brothel and had a baby, and that baby now belongs to the brothel, and it's just a matter of time before something happens to that. Now, we were able to rescue both of those 8-month-olds before any abuse happened, but it just shows you how dark this situation was. One of my great joys was last summer I had a chance to go over to Africa. We have 3 countries we work in Africa: Kenya, Uganda, and Zimbabwe. And in one of the villages that we went to, we wanted to go visit one of these young girls that we had rescued. And she was 16 years old at the time that we visited her, and she lived with another 16-year-old. So if you can imagine this village with little concrete huts, thatched roofs, concrete floor, and we go in to capture her story, and she's got a little cheap roll-out mat, and that's what they sleep on, and has no worldly possessions. And we found out her story was when she was 14 and a half, she actually got kicked out of her house. Her mom got remarried. The stepdad didn't want kids, said she's old enough to take care of herself. So they kicked her out of the house. So she moved into this village with another girl her age. And every day for a year and a half, her and this other girl and many other young girls in that community had to walk down to a well-known street corner, and they had to hope that they got picked up and abused so they could make $1.50 or $2 to get a meal that day. And it happened day after day after day after day. And just by getting her into our program, just by getting her on our food program, the abuse immediately stopped. She never got abused again. But it doesn't do us any good to keep kids there. It doesn't do us any good to set kids free if we can't keep them free. So we are a holistic ministry. So we have a job training program as well. And she entered into our salon training program. And going to go on to open up her own salon with this young girl that she was living with. In fact, as she shared more and more of her story, we went from this really difficult time of being abused to this excitement that now she had something to look forward to. Now she wasn't being abused anymore, and she had something in her life that she had never had before, and that was hope. And now she was excited about what her life was doing. In fact, she was so excited, the last thing she said in the interview was, "Thank you, thank you, thank you. I've run out of words." So that's the difference that we get to make in these precious kids' lives. And what I tell people at this Freedom Walk here today, what we're talking about is that we're going to walk so girls like her never have to make that walk into abuse again. What we're doing today is directly impacting the future of precious kids who are waking up this morning and have no hope and have no future. And because of what's happening today, we're going to send the resources that's going to start brand new rescue stories, and those kids' lives are going to be changed forever.
My name's Mackenzie Yoder, and this is my daughter Natalie Yoder, and we are participating today because Destiny's Rescue is just a fantastic cause. Just knowing that there is sex trafficking out in the world today and how many girls are involved, it's just breaks my heart. So just to be out here to be able to help, being able to rescue anybody is just really close to my heart. And I'm a Rotarian, so this is a big part of our group, and we just encourage everyone to come out and help with this organization. And next year, if we can get more people to come out and help with the walk, that'd be great.
Today, right now, I am at the Freedom Walk. It's sponsored by Goshen Rotary International, and we are here walking to rescue girls from sex trafficking. Our goal was $80,000 this year. So far, we've raised $65,000. If you would like to help us out, we're going to have a QR code that's linked to this broadcast that you can go on and add your dollars in. If you have a bigger check that you'd like to put in, obviously, anytime you do something online, it goes through credit card processing fees, which is about 3%. So if you have a bigger check or a bigger gift that you'd like to do, you can write a check and send it to Destiny Rescue directly. We'll give you that address.
Hi, my name's Hannah, and this is our friends, and Eliza and Lila. We are doing this walk because I think we take for granted every day our freedom that we've got, and we have our two beautiful girls here, and we just couldn't imagine them going through something.
So in the future, this is our third annual Destiny Rescue Freedom Walk. And so this is an annual event. We'll be out at Goshen High School every year doing this event. It's from 8 to noon. It's a 4-hour opportunity. You don't have to walk the whole time. You can come out anytime during that. And we would just love to have you participate in the future. But you don't have to wait till the Freedom Walk is happening to participate. At any time you can give money. And in the end, it's great to have money go towards the Freedom Walk, but we just want to rescue these girls. So if you give money at other times of the year directly to Destiny Rescue, that's a wonderful opportunity as well, and we'd like to have you participate that way as well.